Khloe Kardashian is defending Kylie Jenner and her relationship with Travis Scott after a whirlwind of rumors were put out. A TikTok user recently posted some leaked images of that recent magazine cover shoot that we told you about previously that had been cancelled due to the Astroworld Festival tragedy. Before we get into Khloe's response though, let's take a look at what this magazine had written about Kylie and Travis, because the writer really spilled some tea here. In the article under the photos of Travis and Kylie, they write, "Approach to be as expansive as possible, focusing on chosen and unconventional families as much as on traditional ones. That's when Kylie Jenner, Travis Scott, and their beautiful daughter Stormi Webster came to mind for our cover story. We learned that the elusive and hugely successful Jenner was pregnant with her second child with one of the world's most famous musicians. But we were also reminded that, despite their growing brood, Jenner and Scott are not actually a couple. Here was a real example of a family operating on their own terms." And a lot of people in the comments of the TikTok were split on whether or not this was approved by Kylie and Travis. One person writes, "I've worked in magazines for a decade. Talent does not get to see or approve a profile written about them. That is standard practice." However, another person added a very valid point and said, "This is W Magazine, not some random low-key indie mag. It was definitely approved." Another user commented that a friend of hers had actually worked on this photo shoot and claimed that Kylie and Travis didn't talk to each other the entire time. This TikTok user, who had shared multiple leaked images from the article, also must have been shocked to see Khloe Kardashian in her comment section. In one of the TikToks about the photo shoot, Khloe commented, "Wow, I don't know why this magazine would write this, but they are very much a couple." Although I must say, sending Khloe Kardashian in to clean up relationship rumors is a strange choice by the Kardashian family. To give you some context on the relationship between Kylie and Travis though, the pair started dating back in 2017. Since they started dating, the two of them have managed to keep a pretty low profile before eventually splitting up in October of 2019. But in June of this year, it seems like the pair had rekindled the relationship as they announced that they would be expecting their second child together 3 months later. I'm assuming that the W Magazine article was speaking about the pair having Stormi together, then breaking up, and then coming back together for their second child as the reason why they weren't a couple. Although that's even a bit of a leap, because it says that they're not a couple in such a matter-of-fact way that you would think that Kylie just told them that they weren't together during that photo shoot. Ultimately, W Magazine made the decision to not release the article because it would be viewed as insensitive following the tragedy that took place at Astroworld. In all honesty, this was a really smart move because even these leaked images of the photo shoot are causing all kinds of issues. I guarantee you that had they released this article, many would have said that it was to make Travis appear more like a family man to deflect from the tragedy. On top of that, any drama that came from it would have also been viewed in the same light as a distraction from what really matters. The families of the Astroworld victims are still in mourning and need justice. However, in his first legal response, Travis filed for a dismissal of the lawsuits because he doesn't feel that he is to blame for inciting the dangerous crowd surges that caused 10 concert goers to lose their life. One user commented on the TikTok exposing this interview and essentially touched on what I was just saying about them trying to make Travis look more like a family man. In the comments they wrote, "They probably aren't together, but with everything going on with Travis, it probably looks better for him to be a family man."
Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott are days away from welcoming their second child together, but cheating rumors involving Kylie and Drake might be the end of the couple for good. After the Astroworld tragedy, Kylie and Travis have been doing everything possible to lay low and deal with the thousands of lawsuits that have been put against him. One TikTok user even alleged that she was on the set of a magazine photo shoot involving the couple that was not released to the public due to the scandal. And this TikTok user claimed that Kylie and Travis are actually not together anymore and it's all for show. They said, quote, "Travis and Kylie seemed very comfortable under the sheets, but even though they will soon have 2 children together, they are not a couple and haven't been for 2 years." Adding, quote, "My friend worked this shoot and said that they didn't talk to each other the whole time." After that was exposed, Kylie's sister Khloe came forward and denied these rumors, making it clear that Kylie and Travis are together and trashing media outlets for running with the story. Khloe said, quote, "Wow, I don't know why this magazine would write this, but they are very much a couple." While the couple was trying to combat those rumors, Tristan Thompson's most recent mistress also spoke out against Kylie and Travis's relationship. Marley Nichols, a woman who claims she's the mother of Tristan Thompson's 3rd child following an affair, posted to her Instagram that Kylie and Drake had slept together while Kylie was with Travis. She wrote in an Instagram story, quote, "You know Drake slept with Kylie last year, but you aren't man enough to tell Travis Scott. Well, there it is. Good night, folks. More tomorrow." She added later, quote, "I'm not being quiet anymore. I don't care about a gag order or the Kardashians threatening to sue us for defamation. It's so many twisted, unscrupulous, dark things that the public doesn't know about, but they will soon. Just stay tuned." These rumors were a huge shock to fans who felt that Kylie and Travis were better than ever. But now it seems the rumor that Kylie Kylie and Travis are not actually together might be true, and maybe Kylie did not cheat when she slept with Drake. This is not the first time that Kylie and Drake have been rumored to be a couple. Back in 2019, after splitting from Travis, a source revealed that Kylie and Drake were dating. The source said, quote, "Kylie and Drake's friendship did take a romantic turn recently," adding, quote, "At his Halloween party, they were affectionate and clearly they're together. They've been seeing each other romantically. He also showed up to Kendall Jenner's birthday." At that time, the rumor mill swirled for weeks, but nothing was ever confirmed, and then Kylie got back with Travis. Well, Drake moved on to model Iman Haman in February of 2021. So who knows if this allegation will put a strain in Drake and Travis Scott's relationship, because the pair appeared to be friends. Drake even joined Travis on stage at the Astroworld festival before disaster struck. Kylie Jenner has officially left Houston following the Astroworld tragedy, leaving Travis behind in the city to deal with the situation himself. I'm Mackenzie, and let's get into all the new details we have regarding this situation. But first, make sure to subscribe if you're new here and want to see more. It seems that Kylie is done supporting Travis and is headed back to LA to get the crisis with her own company under control. It's been reported that Kylie left Travis's $14 million mansion in the middle of the night and went in secret so she would not be detected. She even left her $72 million pink plane in Houston and took another one back to ensure her departure was kept a secret. A source told The Sun, quote, "Kylie and her team waited until it was late and left the house in blacked out cars headed for the airport. They didn't want anyone to see them." Apparently the move is so that Kylie can be back with her mother and manager Kris Jenner, who has been in crisis mode trying to handle the situation since disaster struck. Radar reported that Travis was seen outside of his mansion for the first time the other day, pacing back and forth on an intense phone call. His lawyer showed up to his home shortly after. The festival took place November 5th. It has left 10 people dead and hundreds injured. Kylie and Kendall Jenner were at the festival in the VIP section watching the show with Stormy. Following the tragedy, Kylie released a statement saying that her and Travis were not aware of the seriousness of the situation while he was performing. She said in the statement, quote, "I want to make it clear that we weren't aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show, and in no world would we have continued filming or performing." One insider backed up this claim, saying, quote, "They found out after the show on Friday that people had died, but they were initially told it was someone injecting drugs, and that a number of people went into cardiac arrest in the same spot. They had no idea of what truly happened until much later on, and they are heartbroken over the situation." However, fans aren't listening to her excuses and are taking their anger out on her billion-dollar business, Kylie Cosmetics. Tons of videos have been circulating of people throwing their Kylie Cosmetics products into the trash and telling others to do the same if they want Kylie and Travis to pay for the lives lost. This along with the total boycott of her brand. Fans have also been boycotting Travis Scott's music, and they have blocked him as an artist on their Spotify accounts so his music will never be accidentally played by them. Kris Jenner has been working damage control since the event took place. The source said that Kylie is, quote, "working closely with her mom as both her manager, but she's also leaning on her for emotional support." An insider told The Sun, quote, "Kris is in crisis mode and still figuring out how to handle this best."
Kylie Jenner is still yet to post on her main Instagram page, but Kylie Cosmetics is back to its regular advertising schedule and fans are not happy about it. In the top comments, people are saying things like "just no" and "y'all are def deleting comments," with another adding hashtag cancel Kylie Jenner. Although more than just getting back to her posting, Kylie has also started construction on a plot of land that she purchased in May of 2020 for $15 million in cash. The 5-acre vacant lot had remained empty for more than a year because of the pandemic, but photos obtained by the press show that there are now signs of construction starting on the area. So yes, while Travis Scott is in the middle of massive billion-dollar lawsuits, Kylie is back in the Hidden Hills constructing a new home for herself. An aerial photo shows that the slope of the land has now been stabilized with a fence and pillars, plus construction vehicles were parked along the side to prepare for the work ahead in the coming weeks. According to reports, Kylie grabbed the plot of land in an off-market deal, and as per an online brochure, it was advertised as being shovel-ready, which means that the owner could essentially start building their dream home on the land almost immediately. The sale of the land also apparently included plans for an 18,000 square foot home, along with a 12-car garage, guest house, barn, a guard shack for a full-time security detail, pool, and sports court, all tucked away behind private gates. The brochure went on to advertise the land and says in the description, "The property also features its own private driveway to the large upper building pad that offers excellent privacy from the neighbors and the street below. With its great size, excellent views, approved building plans, and prime central Hidden Hills location, this truly unique property has it all." And for a while, the land was actually owned by Miley Cyrus, who purchased it in 2015. Although instead of building a home on the land, she just used it to keep her horses in stables. This would be Kylie's 4th home in Los Angeles, which is absolutely insane. She has 3 others right now in LA, including a monster mansion which she dropped $36.5 million on in 2020 as well. Plus there is a smaller $12 million home in the Hidden Hills, and now she co-owns a $13 million investment property in Beverly Hills with Travis Scott. Although all of these land purchases seem to be more for convenience than anything else, this new vacant lot sits really close to Kris Jenner and Khloe Kardashian's new mega homes. And according to the LA Times, she also dropped $3.25 million a few years back on a piece of land near Palm Springs where her family vacation home is. According to an insider that knew about the construction going on at Kris and Khloe's new mansions, they told The Sun, although Khloe and Kris's homes are almost done, they're both acting like housezillas. They want temperature adjusted rooms and a panic room in case of security issues. They then go on to say, they will have security teams on both property 24/7 to oversee both houses. One would think after dropping that much money on a beautiful house that is meant for a family of 10, Khloe would be satisfied with the results, but she keeps asking for changes. And that security detail is also something that Kylie could be wanting to take advantage of as well, and so she's strategically building a new home nearby. As far as we know, Travis Scott is back in California as well after he was spotted out playing golf with some celebrities, including Kris Jenner's boyfriend Corey Gamble. As of right now, Travis Scott's offer to pay for the funeral expenses of the victims has been rejected by more than half of the families. Many of them are rejecting the offer and continuing to pursue their lawsuits as a better way of getting the justice and answers that they deserve. Kylie Jenner is back in the news, and it's because her fans are furious over how fast she has moved on from what happened at Astroworld. Kylie has yet to make an actual Instagram post, but her stories have been quite active as of late. Travis Scott, if you recall, was spotted near Kris Jenner's home playing golf with Mark Wahlberg, Michael Jordan, and Kris Jenner's boyfriend Corey Gamble. Although amid the massive lawsuits he's facing, he did not look very present. At least that's what we gathered from looking at the photos that were posted. I mean, currently he has been hit with over 300 lawsuits, so yeah, that might distract anyone from having a good time. These lawsuits also include the ones that are seeking $750 million in damages, as well as the one that's for $2 billion. However, included in a lot of those are also Drake, Live Nation, and Apple. What is angering Kylie Jenner fans though is that she recently posted a short Instagram video showing off her new Christmas tree. And reportedly the tree is decked out with decorations worth over $1,000. The issue people are having is that the father of her children could be on the hook to pay billions of dollars in damages to the victims of his Astroworld festival. In the short video, Kylie also featured a 3-tier electronic wood Christmas story pyramid that was handcrafted by a family-run company called Muller. This wooden Christmas pyramid also has roots in German folklore. Just a fun little side fact for you. But Travis apparently flew to Southern California to spend the Thanksgiving holiday with his family, including Kylie Jenner. But since he was not spotted in this Instagram story, many are wondering if he left right after Thanksgiving to perhaps go back to Houston and deal with the many lawsuits ahead. Shortly after the incident, Travis Scott and Kylie released statements, but instead of them being viewed as apologizing for their actions, their statements were interpreted as being just insensitive. Scott tried to make amends with his angered fans and the city of Houston really by saying that he would cover the funeral expenses, but everyone in Travis Scott's inner circle right now is definitely feeling the heat. Before this Christmas tree Instagram story, Kylie previously posted to her stories to wish Hailey Bieber a happy birthday. That IG story was her first real moment of breaking her silence after the statement that she released that I mentioned earlier. A source also went on to tell The Sun that after the catastrophe in Houston on November 5th, Kylie decided to delay the launch of her holiday makeup line, a launch that has been dropped on November 19th for the last 4 years. Travis Scott's attorney, Edwin F. McPherson, also has been going to bat for Travis and said that there has been way too much finger pointing when it comes to this lawsuit. McPherson even took a shot at the Houston police chief for contradicting what he said. Scott's attorney tells the press, "There's been multiple finger pointing, much of which has been by city officials who have sent inconsistent messages and have backtracked from original statements." Houston Police Chief Troy Finner was quoted in the New York Times as saying, "You cannot just close when you got 50,000 and over 50,000 individuals. We have to worry about riots when you have a group that's that young." Yet just a short time later, Chief Finner states the responsibility to stop the show falls on Travis. Despite what Travis Scott's attorney said earlier though, as with many lawsuits, these put the blame on Travis and the festival organizers, especially for failing to take even the most basic of safety precautions. In one lawsuit it says, "Defendants egregiously failed in their duty to protect the health, safety, and lives of those in attendance at the concert, including but not limited to the failure to provide adequate security personnel to implement crowd control measures, proper barricades, barricades and the failure to provide a sufficient amount of emergency medical support. So far, there has also been no post made to the Instagram pages of Kylie's various companies, and following the tragedy, her only statement was an Instagram post where she said, "Travis and I are broken and devastated. My thoughts and prayers are with all who lost their lives, were injured, or affected in any way by yesterday's events, and also for Travis, who I know cares deeply for his fans and the Houston community. I want to make it clear we weren't aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show, and in no world would have continued filming or performing. I am sending my deepest condolences to all the families during this difficult time, and will be praying for the healing of everyone who has been impacted."